Oh, what I want to know is, well, tell me your name.
Viola Morton Leach,
Viola Morton Leach. And how old are you?
85.
85. When is your birthday?
July the 21st, 1933.
1933 is when
Mm-hmm.
you were born. And where were you born?
Uh, Downtown, the street was named Kingham. I think it was named Kingham, but we were downtown, like in the West End.
In the West End.
Mm-hmm.
And you think the street was Kingham.
I think it was, because it was kind of like a little alley, kind of like.
And you were born in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
But your mom came up from where?
Abbeville, South Carolina.
Abbeville, South Carolina. Okay. What did your mom do while she was in Abbeville? Abbeville.
I don't recall her saying anything that she really did.
Uh-huh.
You know, uh, my dad was down there then, and by her having a twin sister,
Mm-hmm.
I never heard her discuss what they did down
Okay.
there. Mm-hmm.
Now, when she came up to Cincinnati, what did she do?
She didn't even do anything but start having babies.
Okay, so she was a stay-at-home mom. She was
Mm-hmm.
raising her babies.
Yeah.
Now, do you know? Tell me, what was your mother's name?
Oh God. Fisher.
Uh-huh.
I think the last name was Fisher.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
B. Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad's name?
Porter Morton.
Was it Al Porter Morton?
Al Porter Morton.
Al Porter Morton.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what work he did down in Abbeville?
I never knew what kind of work he did in Abbeville.
Okay. Now, what about in Cincinnati? What kind of work did he do in
Well,
Cincinnati?
he worked at a plant for a while in the kitchen. And then after uh, he stopped doing that, he started working for a company where they build bricks up to make houses and things. And he would work with bricks all the time because we would always meet him at the corner when he'd be coming home from work. And he'd just be coming from the place where they make bricks, layer bricks.
So
And they make houses.
So did he make the bricks, or I thought he was a brick cleaner. I thought he cleaned the bricks.
Well, they did different things with bricks.
Okay.
Hmm. Not one certain thing, but they did different things.
Different things.
Hmm.
Do you remember where the building was or what corner it was that you met him on when he was coming from work?
What corner was it? We did what?
Where you would meet him when he was on his way home.
Bar and Bay Miller was one of the places. And sometimes he liked to play racehorses.
Uh-huh.
You know, but I don't know what they did when there, but it was a big building, and they would go in there and play racehorses. And when payday was on Wednesdays, and when Wednesdays would come, they always picked me because they said I was his girl, and I did things that he would do and would tell nobody but me.
Uh-huh.
And on Wednesdays, mother say, "Your daddy ain't here by order yet. You better go down there and get that check." I said, "Why do I have to always go down there?" It was on Freeman. I said, "Why do I have to always go down there and get the check?" Because he won't give it to nobody but you. You go down there and get that check. So, and sure enough, it was just like a vacant building. And he would come to the door. I said, "Mama says send the check." And he would back up and give her the money that he give me from his check.
Isn't that something? So where he worked was on Freeman.
Uh-huh.
But
He
you don't.
would go, I don't know whether he worked there or he went there after work.
Ah, that's where they did the horses. That's where they played
Right.
the horses.
Right.
Oh my goodness! So you were able to get the check before he started playing the horses.
he would be in the place,
Uh-huh.
and I knock on the window
Uh-huh.
and ask my daddy to come to the door, and he would come and bring the check.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
And they would always send me.
Always sent you because they knew you could get the money out of it. All right. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, so then you grew up where? Where did you grow up? In the West End?
In the West End. We stayed on Kingham for a while, and it was close to Bay Mellow.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of in between Bar and Bay Mellow.
And was it a house or was it an apartment?
No, it was kind of like a two-family house. It was a lady that stayed upstairs named Miss Irene.
Okay.
She had a son.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you all rent from her, or did you, the Miss Irene and you and your family?
I think it was Miss
rent?
Irene and us, because I had a gas and electric bill that some things that I was going through, like it had about $10 on there,
Mm-hmm.
For the gas and electric. And Miss Irene stayed upstairs. She had a son, and we had the downstairs, which was only 3 rooms. The kitchen, the bedroom was all of ours, and a little hall that you go through, and then that was the living room, in the front room where everybody would gather in there. Because I'd never forget, I laughed about it. We wouldn't dare smoke, and one day somebody caught Evelyn smoking, and boy, they laugh about that. We gonna tell Mama.
Oh.
You gonna get it when you get
Oh.
home, 'cause we seen you smoking that cigarette. Evelyn said, "No, you didn't see me. You didn't. We seen you smoking that cigarette, and we gonna tell." And time Mama come in, everybody jumped and told that Evelyn had been smoking a cigarette. She was so outdone.
How old was Evelyn, though?
I don't know how old Evelyn was.
Because she was the oldest.
Yeah. Then your dad, Joe.
Yes.
Yes. And they stayed, later on, we were down the street, and they stayed up the street. About 4 doors up the street.
So they rented
They rented.
up the street. Did they live together? Did they rent together?
They were together. Yeah, I can't remember. But they were together.
Because they were the oldest. So about how old were they when they left?
I don't know. I really don't. I had a lot of information on them. I don't know what happened to some of those things that I had. Because Gladys Girl said I would always get everything. I don't know why they put the blame on me.
Oh.
Because Daddy used to send me to the bank, cash his check after he got paid on Wednesdays. And before then, this place where he worked at, it was a place where they do bricks, and I think he helped in the kitchen sometime. Because we would meet him on the corner, and on a certain day he would bring tapioca home.
Yes.
And we would all run because we knew that was the day we going to get tapioca.
Yes.
And he would bring it home. We'd be racing. Here come Daddy. This is the day he brought the tapioca. And he would come, and we would meet him and then go home and eat it. Because later on, I don't know how that happened, that the bricks and the kitchen, I don't know whether he was helping in the kitchen after they cleaned the bricks or whatever. The kitchen had something to do with it.
Okay. So, how many children lived in that house where Miss Irene was? How many children were there at one time?
What, the lady that stayed upstairs?
Yeah, the lady was upstairs. I'm just talking about that building where you were. You were downstairs on the first floor.
We were.
Right, your family was. How many children were in that apartment?
I mean, with all of us?
With all of you. Is that where you were raised up as a child?
Yeah, we were well between there and I can't think of the name of the street because at one time this street was flooded, and we would have to somebody would come by and bring us water after the street was because that was off of Kingham that happened. Because I was born, we was all born natural. Mama didn't go to the hospital for no baby.
So you all were all born in that apartment building?
Most of us was born, I think, no, because I was born on Kingham. So I don't know how many was born on Bar Street, but I know that Lonzo and myself, I know we were born on Kingham in a little alley like.
Mm-hmm. So then from
The
Kingham...
doctor would come to the house.
Uh-huh. Do you know if he was a black doctor or a white doctor?
I don't know. I was trying to think of his name. Because a lady always down the street was said, they used to call her B, they said B done had another baby. And they don't know how blessed it is to have a lot of kids. Like now that I'm sick, I only have like Darnita, and Brandy's working. So that came in handy, the family.
Yes. We depended on one another.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
We really did depend on one another.
So then from Kingham, you went to Bar Street?
From Kingham to Bar.
And how many children were on Bar Street?
Oh, God.
Because Joe and Evelyn, they had moved up the street on Kingham. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they didn't go to Bar Street. Or did they?
Oh, yeah, they went to Bar Street.
They went to Bar Street.
Mm-hmm. We had a couch in the living room. And I remember my daddy putting up some of our old socks for Christmas. Then he would hang them on. We had like a mantle, and the stove was right there, a burning stove, so with coals in it, and he would hang some of his socks on the mantle for Christmas time. Mm-hmm.
Was the stove for heating or for cooking?
In the living room, it was for heating.
For heating.
Because we had a kitchen, and he would always take a pop ball or something like that to roll it out to make the crust. Because Daddy would do all the cooking, just about.
Wow.
Mama didn't do a lot of cooking.
Wow.
Mm-mm. Daddy did a lot of cooking. Sometimes we would always say it hit the ceiling and it would come back down still whole. We would tease him like that. And then the turkeys or whatever was in the oven for the holiday, we would always, he'd take a broom thing out of a broom, one of the straw, and then that's what he tested.
The turkey?
The turkey he would take out of the broom, one of the sticks, and punch it in the turkey to see whether or not it was done. That's how he tested it.
Oh, my.
And we always used to say, his cakes hit the ceiling and come back down. I mentioned that. And they don't never break.
Wow.
We would say that, but we ate it.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, why did you move from Kingham to Bar Street?
That was a long time before we moved because we had an outdoors toilet.
On Kingham?
On Bar.
You had an outdoors toilet on Bar Street?
Yeah.
What about on Kingham? Did you have an indoor toilet?
I don't remember. I was trying to think. I don't know.
Okay.
But I know we had an outdoor toilet on Bar Street because I got a spanking a couple of times for coming home at 1 minute after 12, and I was supposed to be home at 12.
Uh-huh.
1 minute.
1 minute. They were strict. Strict.
You were supposed to be here at 12. You're going to get it in the morning. And they would all tease me, "You gonna get a whooping, you gonna get a whooping."
Now, did you have more rooms at Bar Street than you had on Kingham?
Oh yeah, we had, but
It was a bigger place
it was packed, but it was a better place than on Kingdom.
Okay. And this was in a two-family?
With Miss Irene and her son.
That was on Kingham.
No, this was on Bar.
Oh.
But I don't think nobody stayed in that building with us on Kingham. I know I was born on Kingham.
Okay. Do you ever remember your parents saying anything about property? Well, no, they were living in an apartment. Did they say anything about the rent being high?
Well,
Do you
the rent, we didn't really pay any rent that much to nobody until we moved into projects. We moved on Clark Street.
So what were the names of the projects that you moved into on Clark Street?
That was Metropolitan.
Metropolitan Housing.
That was on Clark. And we stayed upstairs on the second floor.
And how many of you were in that building?
I can't remember how many of us was in that place because some of them had left.
Yeah.
They had left that place.
But you were there. And you were there. Gladys was there.
On Clark Street? Yeah.
Gladys and Albert.
Yeah.
Alfronia. Was Alfronia there? Odessa?
Alfronia, yeah. Because Joe and Evelyn, they used to belong to Methodist Church.
Okay.
That's where Gladys girl, we were just talking about that. Gladys said, I was saying something, you know how snappy she is. She said, well, Mama and Daddy was Methodists before they was Baptists. I said, well, I don't remember that a lot. I really didn't, but I did know that they did go to a Methodist church.
And do you remember the name of the Methodist church? Do you remember the name of that church?
What's the name of that church? Did Gladys say? I don't know whether Gladys said that it...
Was it Bethel?
No, I don't think it was. But Gladys, something I was saying, and she's not too long ago, and she said, well, Mama and Dad, Joe and Evelyn was Methodist anyway, and Mama was too, till she joined the Baptist church. Mother had good hair, and he would always say, that's Mama's. I don't bother that. That's Mama's. He worked at that drugstore for a long time. A long time. I was trying to figure out what street that was on. But he worked there for a long. He always would work. He was always doing something.
Yeah, yeah. But now, what kind of work did you do?
I worked for the welfare department for 28 years.
28 years? What did you do?
As a homemaker.
So what did that mean?
I went around and helped we helped old people and young people, keep their families together.
Okay.
And that was from the Hamilton County Welfare Department. And I worked there. I loved my job. I loved working with elderly. When they turned us over with children, it was okay. I can't say I loved it because when you see people mistreating their kids and they're on drugs, and you go in these alleys and all those places, God is good. Because at that time, things was rough downtown. And that's where they would mostly put us at, in the areas downtown. In the projects and different places like that.
And so how old were you when you did that work? You said you were with them for how many years?
About, I got a plaque in there, about 27 years.
27 years. So can you remember the year that you started with them?
I don't remember.
And do you remember when you ended with them? Did you have any children when you ended with them?
I didn't have any kids then.
Okay, so you were still newly married?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I worked at a drugstore on Erkenberger and Burnett for about 3 years. Garber's.
Yes.
And then
Dad worked at Garber's.
Evelyn.
But Dad did too.
Oh, yeah.
Dad delivered pharmaceuticals at Gerber.
And then Evelyn's worked for the family.
Uh-huh.
She worked for them for years. So when she passed, they gave a speech and they cried. You know, they love Evelyn. She didn't do that much, but just took care of the kids, and I guess that was the main thing.
Yeah, what they needed.
They don't worry about other things. They just make sure that they find somebody to help with the kids. You know.
Well, I'm very interested about your helping with the elderly and helping with families in the West End. And you did that for 28 years.
Yeah.
So, do you know what did they call you to do that? Did you have a title, a name, a home? What did you say it was?
We used to say the homemaker.
Homemaker. You were a homemaker. And did you go in trying to teach the women how to keep their homes?
Tried to. We went in terrible places with mothers who smoking weeds, and they would just do everything, have men and come in. I was telling somebody the other day, I went one place one time, it was so cold, and I was outside, and the kids was looking out the window, and they said, "You coming up, Miss Bleach?" I said, "I can't get in the door. No, we'll let you in, Miss Bleach. Please don't leave, Miss Bleach." I said, "I don't want to go because it's cold out here." I said, "You go in that bedroom where your mother is and tell her to open the door. I don't want to see her. I want to see you all." "Miss Bleach, please don't leave, Miss Bleach." So finally, she must have got tired of me calling her, and she let me in. She was there with a man. And I said, "I don't care who you here with. It don't make me no difference. I come to see the kids. It don't make me no difference who you in there with." I said, "And if he stay long enough, he gonna help me clean this house up." I never did see him anymore.
So you would clean up her house?
Oh, yeah. She was supposed to help.
Because you were supposed to be teaching her. And then what was your responsibility for her children?
Well, to make sure they got to school, to make sure that they was clean, make sure that she cooked, make sure the house was straight. They would do it sometimes, sometimes they wouldn't. And I really enjoyed working. And when they left, most of the young people, we went to the elderly. And I really enjoyed working with the elderly.
So you worked with the families, then you worked with the elderly. You worked with the families for, say, like maybe 10 years, and then the last 10 years you were strictly working with elderly.
With the elderly.
Well, who worked with the families then? If you all
some of them, they stopped giving them the service.
They stopped the service.
Some of them, the kids was taken away from them. I went to a family once. Ooh, it just broke me up. I had been there all day long, and this woman was going to court because they had already threatened her and taken 2 of her kids. I think it was 2. And I told the other kids when they were there, "Your mother sure has been gone a long time." And one of the boys said, "I bet you she come back, and they gonna want to take us too." I said, "Oh no, they won't do that. They won't do that." But sure enough, when she got back that evening, she didn't look right. And she said, "Miss Leach, they gonna take the kids." Well, they knew that she was smoking and drinking and having been, and she had already had some kids taken away from her. And while they were talking, one of the boys left the house while we were talking with the worker. He said, "I won't be back." And he couldn't have been no more than a 12 or 13 years old.
My.
you really seen some really, really bad things happen to children at times, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they would always call me Miss Bleach.
Miss Bleach.
And right now, not too long ago, they were giving away some food over at church every once a month. And they'll say, well, Miss Bleach, I don't work over there no more. I haven't been working at the church because I haven't been feeling good.
Right.
But they would call me Miss Bleach. And then later on, some of the other kids would call. Their mothers would put them on the phone to call. But I haven't heard from anyone. But I had another girl. She was really nice, but she was slow. And she wanted to learn the Bible. So, Miss Leach, would you get me a Bible? And surely I got her a Bible. And she started reading the Bible. But last time I seen her, she was back out in the world.
Now,
they took all of her kids. And we went to court once. The mother-in-law wanted them. She got them too. I think it was 2 of them. And she says to me, what are you doing down here? I said, what are you doing down here? Well, I've got business to take care of with the kids. I said, the mother and I have business talking with the kids, too. Oh, they were terrible back in those days. Well, not as bad
who was
as
it? Who was terrible?
The people, you know, the clients that I'm going to, like their grandmothers and something like that, or the other people would come in and judge what she did, what she haven't done. And that's why we tried to keep things halfway, but some of them just didn't want to do anything. And then at that time, they definitely would not leave kids in the home with unfit mothers.
Right.
They were really, really strict.
Right.
Now they do it, but not like they used to.
So, do you remember the year that you moved into this house in Kennedy Heights?
Moved from where?
When you moved here into this house. Do you remember what year that was?
I don't remember, because we were the second people to move, blacks to move here.
So what was that like to move into a community that was mostly white?
It was fine with me, but we got a letter saying, they got a letter saying we want you to move out, not in.
What, so that was from somebody in this neighborhood that sent you that letter?
We never knew.
You never knew who it was?
But we called the police.
Was there anything else, any other type of threats or anything besides that letter?
No.
Well, that's
good. We
good.
called the police, and then after that, we got to be close with different ones, because Mr. Jones moved next to us, neighbor, after we were here. I don't know, we weren't here that long before he moved, because he was on Stacy.
So you knew him from Stacy? Or did you know him from when you lived on Stacy? Oh my goodness.
Him and his wife.
Okay.
He had a daughter. Her husband was a dentist, her daughter's husband. Yeah, I can't think of her name. I got her name on the...
So, did you have any trouble getting this house? Did you have trouble with the realtors showing you a house in this neighborhood, since it was mostly white?
We didn't have any problems until we moved in.
Until you moved in. Was your realtor a white person or a black person?
What?
Your realtor, the one that showed you the
White.
houses. He was a white person. Okay.
Those was the good old days. Some of them was. Compared to today.
How do you mean?
The way they live, you know, kids running around, young girls with these weeds and getting pregnant and going with these older men and staying out. Then they shooting and going on. It's scary.
So you think that now is even worse than the time that you were visiting, trying to help women on weed?
Oh, yeah, I think it's worse now. And it was bad then, but not like it is now. Nothing like it is today. Nothing. I tell some of the homemakers that come here sometimes, they want to come here and just sit. I get somebody like 3 days a week. But they don't do anything the girl that did the wash for Ralph, we even have a social worker that's for Ralph. Well, somebody helped him to get it, with his condition, and he feels bad because he can't work, don't have any money coming in. Candy takes care of some of his business for him.
Yes, yes,
And he feels bad about not being able to work and make his own money, but right now he can't.
Right.
The Lord has blessed him that he's only had one spell since he's been here, like balling out, and that's been over 3 years.
Wow.
And he stayed with Darnita for about 2 months that I didn't know about, and because that's when Dave was sick.
Yes. Yes.
He stayed with them, and they said they was glad that Candy helped because she helped him get on the program. Because the medicine was like $400 that he had to take. And he's still taking medication, which is helping him. And he has a good appetite. That's the main thing.
Yes.
I know when he's sick if he don't eat.